Hey guys, Stephen Boatgren here from Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is motivation. Fuck. So hey everybody, I hope you're having a great Monday so far. I know it's early in the week, it's February already, it's almost halfway over. Arnold's coming up, 2.5 weeks away essentially, and the year is flying by. So I think one of those questions that I continually get, and I've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but it's how do you stay motivated? How do you stay on the grind? How do you stay, motivated to continue doing the things that you're doing on a daily basis that are helping you to be successful or building you up to where you can be successful? And I think there are a whole lot of different ways to stay motivated and to try and keep motivation high. Now, before I go into any of that, remember, motivation is not always going to be high. There are going to be days, and I have these days just like anybody else, where I wake up, fuck, and I don't want to wake up, and I want to lay in bed, and I'm just like, man, I really don't feel like doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever it might be today, right? And that's even some things that I really love, because I'll be honest with you guys, like at this point in my life, I don't fill my life up with people and things that I don't love or enjoy, or that I don't feel make my life better. So for me, those days are kind of difficult because it's like, hey, I'm not enjoying the things that I love and the things that I'm passionate about as much, right? And we all are going to have those days, right? A little bit of depression here and there, maybe a normal thing, and I think that's really what it has to do a lot of it, right? There's ups and downs. Like nobody's always just 100% straight. Nobody's always up. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right things to manage those as well, paying attention to the underlying psychological mechanisms that might be happening. And so that in and of itself is going to be a big part of, hey, I'm staying motivated, or I'm continuing to enjoy the things that I'm doing, right? Another big part of staying motivated is simply having goals. It's easy. It's so easy to stay motivated when we have a weight goal or a competition date, right? It's very easy, like there's the end date. And so psychologically, we can look at this in sort of the fatigue index, where we kind of pace ourselves, and then final sprint during like a race, right? An endurance, a marathon, a 10K run, a 5K run, whatever it might be, right? So we sort of have like that internal governor almost, where it's like, I'm gonna pace myself so I know I can make it to the end. And then when the end is in sight, now I can go for it, I can sprint. And so that's sprint. And so that's kind of one of those things where it's like, we don't necessarily have that when we don't have a hard set goal. Or when our goal is kind of lofty and it's far away. Or even like what I see this the most is during the reverse process, when there's like, we had our contest date, we really pushed, we got where we needed to be, we put in the effort, and it just, now it's like open-ended, like, hey, we're gonna reverse. We wanna get up to a good maintainable calorie intake. We wanna get cardio back down, but we don't necessarily know how long it's going to take. We have an idea, maybe it's gonna take 3 or 4 months, maybe it's gonna take 6 months. That's a little bit harder. We don't have that finish line. It's hard to pace ourselves. It's hard to look to that end goal and say, hey, this is where I finish, right? Difficult. Mentally, it's difficult. So during times like this, it really can be beneficial to set other kinds of goals, right? So objective goals are still great, are strength. That helps us stay motivated. When we see our strength increasing, when we see our lifts going up, when we're being adherent and we're being accountable to the volume and that strength goals within our training program. So it gives us something that's not necessarily 100% physique based. Like, we do still want to make those gains on the physique realm, but they're very long term, right? And a lot of times we don't see them until we diet down again. If you're a natural athlete, we're talking about a year, 2 years off, sometimes even more than that, just to make those same goals and progress in terms of getting back on stage with more muscularity and denser, fuller, bigger, better muscle, right? That can be hard. So paying attention to strength goals, where we can objectively track those AMRAPs, 3 RMs, 5 RMs, 1 RMs, whatever it might be, maybe getting into powerlifting in your off season, those kinds of things. Frustrated strength athlete, shout out by the way, just funny powerlifting memes. Thanks for the shirt, buddy. I appreciate it. But not having any kind of set, hard, objective goal can make it very, very difficult to stay motivated, right? So we want to make sure that we're paying attention, that we have goals, and that we're paying attention to the psychological stuff that's going on within us. That's also going to affect our levels of motivation, fulfillment, happiness, whatever it might be, right? Because those all play into it. Whew, man, that's a lot. I think for me, and I was talking to Paul the other day about this, I was like, man, anytime anybody ever asks me how do I stay motivated, I just look back at the things that I've had to do in my past. And I realize how much I don't want to go back to those. I also can look forward to the things in my future that I don't have yet and say, hey, again, goals. Like I have hard goals that I want to accomplish that I think would be beneficial, right? So that can always be beneficial too, taking a little bit of time to get some perspective. Sometimes motivation can be helped by perspective. Saying, hey, you know what, I really don't feel like getting up and going to the gym today. But I also know that all my clients, I set the example for them. So if I'm doing a poor job setting the example, living a life of balance and of consistency in terms of my training, those kind of things, that I'm not doing them a great service, right? And I really don't want to have to go back to waiting tables. I don't want to have to go try and get another degree. I don't want to have to mess up or chance that I'm putting myself in a bad position to where I could lose all the things that I have right now. So sometimes that in and of itself is a motivational piece for me. I don't want to have to go back to where I came from. I didn't like that. Like, it's great. I learned a lot of lessons being there. It did a ton in terms of building my character, my work ethic, and teaching me a lot of important life lessons. But I would rather stay away from there from here on out if I can. Right? So sometimes simply looking back at your past, where you've come from, how far you've come, that can be a great way to get your motivation back on track. Like, hey man, sometimes I feel like I'm not really making a lot of progress and I don't really know if this is all worth it. I go back and I look at my first contest photos and I look at my contest photos from this past year. I'm like, wow, right? It's objective. I can see that change. I can see the progress. Sometimes simply taking a step back from our current situation, gaining perspective is a really, really good thing, right? So that's another way to help stay motivated. What about people around me? Well, the people around me definitely motivate me. There's no question about that. When you have people that are grinding as hard as like Paul, Lauren, Dr. Joe, and people that are that good at what they do, it's hard to stay complacent, right? I am continually motivated by the people around me because they work so hard. They are such professionals. They are so good at what they do that it forces me to realize that I need to make sure I'm doing everything I can to be at that same level. There's a good saying that if you're the smartest person in your group of friends, you probably need a new group of friends. That's hard, because I like telling myself that I'm the smartest and I'm the best and I'm the best looking and the most interesting and definitely the funniest. But that's not true. And if it is true, then I have issues because I'm not challenging myself to continue to grow. Having people around you that challenge you to grow, to continue to get better, to do more, to push yourself to really live up to your full potential, that is important, right? It's important to have people that see your potential even when you cannot. And that can be a big, big, big motivational tool in and of itself. So guys, I know it's not always easy to stay motivated. We are never always going to be motivated. And when we can't be motivated, it's better to be dedicated, right? Even when I don't want to go, I go and make it happen. But there are still a lot of other things that we can do to help stay motivated, even when we might be in an off season or a long building season, or things might not necessarily be in our optimal place. We can always look back, gain perspective, make sure that we have people around us that are bringing us up, pushing us to be better, and just really doing everything that we can to make sure that we are pursuing the things that are important to us. So when you are feeling down, guys, please remember some of those things and hopefully they help. But until next time, have a great Monday.